It was Michael Flynn, Mueller writing, a sitting national security advisor, former head of an intelligence agency, retired lieutenant general, and 33-year veteran of the armed forces, knows he should not lie to federal agents. With me now is former FBI Special Agent Frank Montoya and MSNBC terrorism analyst Malcolm Nance, who's the author of the book, The Plot to Destroy Democracy. Frank, good to have you with us. Let me begin with you, if I may. Does anyone within law enforcement experience, know that it's actually illegal to lie to the FBI? It almost seems like you don't have to have a law enforcement background to know that you shouldn't lie to federal agents.
Well, it's a given in many instances. In fact, I was thinking about this just as I read through the documents today. And I did thousands of these kinds of interviews, and I don't ever remember once having to remind somebody of that notion. There's a difference between this as well and a Miranda warning, which you do after somebody's been arrested. But the other part of this interview process that is peculiar to me is while Mike Flynn had a pretty easy rapport with a lot of guys in the FBI, including myself. I worked closely with him at the ODNI and also when he was at DIA. What it really is peculiar to me is that he even indicates in the document in the interview that he knows not only why he's being interviewed, but that Andy probably knows the answers as well. And that Andy being Andy McCabe, and yet he still is deceptive about that, and ultimately acknowledges in sworn testimony in district court that in fact he did lie to the FBI in the course of that interview. Yeah,
Malcolm, I want to pose you the same question with this caveat, which is from the filing itself. It read, the defendant undoubtedly was aware, in light of his many years working with the FBI, that lying to the FBI carries serious consequences. Do you buy any of the arguments made by Trump or Flynn's attorneys that, hey, the FBI agents didn't warn him not to lie?
No. It's completely and totally, utterly implausible. It's not just that everyone who works within that community, within the White House, within the Defense Intelligence Network, understands that you don't lie to the FBI, but we also know that they're the principal agency for counterintelligence. He also knew that we conduct own force monitoring of foreign officers like Ambassador Kislyak in the United States, and that anyone who would be communicating with him would be part of the collection process from the FBI. He, knowing all of that, conducted a deception operation against the FBI. When they walked into his office, he was well aware of what the facts were. They led him on using the actual wording that he used in order to give him a break, and he still had a reason to lie. Within the world of counterintelligence, this would be a red flag that this man has something to hide which exceeds his security clearance, his loyalty to the country, and the common sense that everyone knows never lie to an FBI officer.
So, Frank, to that point that Malcolm just raised about all the red flags, why? Why would Michael Flynn try to now, or through his lawyers, try and spin this in any other way than he simply lied? Why try to kind of obfuscate all of this by saying the agents were, somehow disingenuous about it?
Yeah, it's another great point, especially because he's not reneging on the fact that he admitted to lying.
Right.
I think this is really about trying to massage the reputation a little bit to make himself look a little bit better. No question, Mike Flynn was a great warrior for this country, but at the same time, it's hard to not believe that he was a pretty lousy politician, and this is, I think, his way of just trying to salve some of the wound. I give him credit for standing up or manning up and admitting to the crime, but at the same time, there is the tear on that reputation, and what was otherwise a great 33 years of service to our country.
What is the filing today, Malcolm, that kind of undercuts the Flynn argument and the Trump argument due to President Trump's argument that Flynn was entrapped?
Well, to a certain extent, this really damages his argument that he should get no jail time. I mean, if I were the judge, I would look at askance with this filing, because it really goes back on his the belief that he is remorseful about what he's done. Maybe this is his lawyers trying to be too cute by half.
Right.
But by making this argument, it's almost as if you're making an argument for a pardon. And that would, again, make me feel, if I were the presiding judge, that he was... Yeah, not just suspicious, but that he's still keeping the effort up. And despite the fact that he was a great intelligence warrior, he is not just an awful politician, but he, in fact, may have been one step away from, treason to a certain extent. And he pulled back by cooperating. But then now, look at him now. He's going back even on what he cooperated with.
All right. Malcolm Nance, Frank Montoya, thank you guys very much this evening.